If you've been in the gentle parenting space for a while, you might have heard that every behavior that your child has communicates a need. Behavior is communication. You hear that left and right. And it is true. It is absolutely the truth. Now, have you asked yourself, okay, so every behavior communicates a need, but what is the need when I've told my son no 5 times and he keeps asking for the thing that I told him no? Or what is the need when he keeps bouncing on the couch and he would not stop? Or what is the need when he would not just go to sleep? On this podcast episode, I'm going to walk you through your child's 5 basic needs according to Dr. William Glasser's research. He's a world recognized expert in the topic of needs linked up to behavior. After this podcast episode, you will know exactly what your child's 5 basic needs are, and you're going to start recognizing them through behavior. Okay, so without further ado, let's go and talk about your child's 5 basic needs. Welcome to another episode here in the Parenting with Understanding podcast. This is your host, Marcela Collier, parenting coach in HIC Parenting Education. People have asked me, parents on Instagram, on TikTok, could you please talk a little bit more about children's needs? I want to learn more. And I was like, wow, like I started scrolling through my podcast episodes. I'm like, wait a second. I'm a parenting with understanding expert. I'm an expert on children's needs, and I don't have one single podcast that breaks down children's 5 basic needs. And that's what I'm going to do today. Need number one is the need for survival. So, the need for survival is related to physical, emotional, and psychological safety. Yes, it's connected to safety. If our children don't feel safe, then they enter in survival mode, and then their little amygdala in their brain that prepares them to fight or flight or freeze. So, those are the ones who fight us back, who run away and hide under the bed when we are going to brush their teeth, especially if they're sensory needs kiddos, or we just freeze. Freezing may look like they hear us perfectly, the instruction we're giving them, but they're not following through. They're just there. And then we might think that they're ignoring us, but they might be in their survival response. So that's the need for survival. When my foster son came to my care, he had that need really, really big because, of course, when a little kid enters a new environment, he was disrupted from his home and he was brought to my care. That's a trauma on itself. And number two, he didn't know me. He didn't know my husband. I mean, he was living a very traumatic situation by being disrupted from his home and brought into foster care. So I couldn't expect him from following my instructions right away, settling down right away at bedtime, saying, yes, I understand the house rules, or yes, I'm going to do things right away, because he was stuck in his survival brain. So, what was the intervention? Get him out of his survival brain by providing a container of safety. And the container of safety is not just making sure for him to know, for him to be sure that his physical needs are met, that he's going to have his food, that he's going to sleep in the same bed every day, but for him to feel as secure parents, as safe adults. So, number one ingredient for our children's need for survival to be met is for us to be safe parents, to be secure parents. So let's not take it to the extreme. Even when we raise our voice or when we punish our kids, that provides a level of lack of safety in our homes. And I want to provide empathy for you, because back in the day I didn't know what I didn't know, and I did things that did not provide that stage of safety for my son, crying and telling him that it wasn't a big deal, or things of that nature that didn't connect him with me, and it kept him in that level of survival. So that's the very first thing. If you have a child stuck in their survival brain, if they're fighting you, if they're fleeing, meaning if they're hiding under the bed when you're telling them to do things, if they're freezing, meaning that if you tell them to do something and they're just frozen in the thing that they're doing, they're not moving forward, they're not moving backwards, they're just there, then learn to meet the needs for survival by becoming a secure parent. That's the main goal of my membership, the Secure Parent Collective, to provide you with the tools and guidance and ongoing support for you to become a secure parent, to provide that level of safety in your home by learning better ways to manage your triggers and connect with your children and communicate limits and all those good things. And I want to invite you to a workshop where I'm going to share with you the USE process to correct any behavior from any child by gaining deep understanding on how to meet your child's needs, how to bring that level of safety and security to your home. So to sign up, all you have to do is go to the link in my bio. If you're watching us on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, the link is in the description. Or if you are listening from your podcast provider, then open the description of this podcast episode and the link is there. Or if you go to hicparenting.com, the link is there as well. It is a $7 workshop. Yes, just $7. If you can save on that Starbucks coffee, you can have better tools to provide a level of safety to your children and correct behaviors by just them feeling a lot more connected to you. Their behaviors will improve. So I hope to see you there. This is a live class brought to you by the Secure Parent Collective membership, and I'm going to be there guiding you and interacting directly with you. I'm going to show you what parents have said after attending this workshop.
I just came back from the HIC workshop and it was amazing. I was able to get both of my old school parents to join me in the meeting, and by the end of it, my mom was immediately wanting to purchase the membership, and we did for the whole year. And my dad actually listened and understood what was said. It was an amazing call and very informative. I'm so excited for the next year with the membership group. I absolutely loved this workshop. I feel 100% more confident in my abilities to move forward positively with my toddler. I know it takes time and patience, but having the use technique and this time was so beneficial. Thank you.
The need for belonging. So, the need for belonging is another basic need related to our children feeling connected, feeling seen, feeling included, feeling part of a family, of a relationship. When they have the need for belonging, they express it through many different ways: clinginess, or sibling jealousy, or just demandingness, calling your attention. Yesterday, what was I doing? It was Mother's Day, and I was doing yoga because it was my break day. And Santi, one of my twins, he came in and then he started not doing yoga, disrupting my yoga. He laid on the yoga mat and then he was kind of under me. I was doing down dog. And then he said, Mommy, I want to help you do yoga. So that's the need for belonging right there. He was really saying, Mom, I need quality time. I'm missing you. I know it's Mother's Day. And at the same time, I want to spend time with you. So I invited him to do yoga with me. And in a matter of, I would say, I counted 30 seconds, he was done doing yoga. He was over it. He was like, this is boring. And he went on playing. So, what happens when we don't see that need? We see it as a disruptive behavior. We tell our children, don't you see I'm doing yoga? Can I just have a 30-minute break? And you can communicate your boundaries and needs. I'm not saying you cannot, you can. But when we come from the belief that they're disruptive, that they're just trying to mess up our flow, then the way we interact with them is a lot different. So I didn't have anything else to do yesterday on Mother's Day. So I just invited him to do yoga with me, even if it took me longer. But if you are in a time constraint, meaning like I have to finish this 30-minute workout before I get ready and take them to school, you can communicate your boundary. Just know that when you communicate it from the understanding of this is the need for belonging, it lands on your children a lot different. And you're going to be able to prevent tantrums, meltdowns, or even more demandingness. So let's move on to the need for power. We went over the need for survival, the need for belonging. The need for power is children feeling skillful, children feeling that they're capable, that they can do something. So let's go back to yesterday. I was doing yoga and my son came in and then he said, I want to help you do yoga. And then he helped me do yoga. And as I was interacting with him, he said, I feel sad because daddy brought in a punching bag. Daddy bought them a punching bag. And Miguel is not letting me play with it. Miguel is his twin. And then I'm like, wow, Santi, that's so great that you were able to verbalize your needs that way. That's the need for power. When children feel powerless, feel that they cannot do something, then that need kicks in. Now, I have to admit that I've been working in parenting with understanding with my sons since birth, and they 8 years old. So now I would say they're very articulate when it comes to understanding their emotions and communicating it safely. When they were younger, they were not able to the same way. So if that happened, they would have gotten into a fight. They would have not verbalized it that way. So if you see a lot of sibling conflicts, sibling fights, it could be communicating this need for power. If there is a competition of power between the two kids of I have power over this toy and you don't, or I know more than you, then this need could be there present. So, from the understanding of that need, is not that they need to share more or they need to play nicely. It's about how they can feel powerful, all the children in their own way. That would prevent so much sibling conflict. So, I was very curious about how daddy managed that interaction of the twins having the conflict over the punching bag. When I was done with the yoga, I went in and then I said, Brian, so tell me what happened. Did they fight? What happened? He said, no. I mean, they started having a little conflict. Santi felt powerless and then he just started crying and then he went to you. I'm like, okay, that's a step forward considering that Santi would have punched Miguel, a few years ago. So that's the need for power, competing against one another, wanting each other's things, wanting to feel more skillful than their sibling because that makes them feel skillful themselves. They want to prove themselves. And then we want to pull our hair out. That's the need for power. The need for freedom. People confuse the need for freedom a lot with the need for power. So the need for power is feeling skillful, feeling that I'm capable, that I can prove myself. The need for power is similar, a little different, is having control, having autonomy, and being able to have a choice. So that creates a lot of defiance in kids if they don't feel they don't have a choice. If your child is in the no stage, everything is no, 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 my encouragement for you is to check in with you on how many no's do you give your children in a given day. Because 9 times out of 10, when I coach parents who are concerned about their children's no stage, they are in the no stage with their kids. Sometimes they tell their kids no more times than what their children tell them no. So watch out for the times that you're told your children no. You can still tell them no, just watch out for the rate, the amount of times, because if you tell them more no's than yeses, then they will feel controlled. The need for freedom, they're going to show it through that defiance, through that you don't tell me what I need to do. Then you will see morning stalling, that you will see bedtime stalling, and if you are in that predicament, come to the workshop. I want to talk to you and guide you directly. So That's the need for freedom. They want to be free. Think about this. When was the first time in your life that you felt free? When you gain control, when you were able to make your own choices. When people say, hey, I'm getting on my feet, meaning like I'm getting control over my life. I don't have somebody else running my life or something else running my life. I'm running my life. Now, we have to be aware that children are, they're small and they cannot run their lives. It's not safe for them to run their lives, but they for sure could have autonomy in many different areas. I don't care if my children brush their teeth in my bathroom or in their bathroom or even in the laundry sink as long as they brush their teeth. But by them choosing the place, that prevents so much struggle in my house. The need for fun is releasing energy, it is learning. When parents come to parenting coaching and HIC parenting and tell us, share with us, "Ay, homework is a battle. My children hate learning." I have news for you. Your children love learning because their brains are wired to take on the world and learn. That's one of their five basic needs. Learning is attached to fun. So it is not that they hate learning, it's that they might not be having fun in the learning activities that they're being provided at school or that you're providing at home. So if it is a school, is the school meeting their learning needs? One of my children, he had the gifted test because he was getting very bored in most of the assignments. He's not gifted, but he's very close to being gifted. The test came back last week. He's very close. So they are accommodating his learning environment to meet his needs. At the other side, if they find it too challenging, if they find it that they cannot win in math, in science, in reading, and if it's a struggle, then of course they're going to disengage. So find better ways to re-engage them in a way that they feel that they can and that they have the power. Like the need for fun, then learning and power kind of like goes together, so they feel skillful even in simple things. One of my children in foster care, he had cognitive delay, and we had to accommodate his learning needs so he felt that he could, and then he was capable and powerful, and he was learning and he was having fun while doing it. So that's the need for fun. Those are the five basic needs: the need for survival, the need for belonging, the need for power, for fun, and for freedom. All children have these five basic needs, and they communicate it through behavior. Parenting with understanding, that's our methodology in HIC parenting education. When we equip our coaching clients in the Secure Parent Collective membership and our Parenting with Understanding coaching program on learning to the core how their children's needs present in the day-to-day basis and how to meet them, their lives become so much smoother, connected, cooperative. I mean, the transformation is incredible. Have you seen any improvement since you've joined the Secure Parent Collective?
Absolutely. As I had the luck to talk with you only last week, and I have to say that I am more balanced, and so when I am I'm more secure. I'm more secure because now I know that I have tools, and when I know this, as soon I feel my body raising something, I know if I am able to breathe in and to not let go out the let's say the rushing. I'm thinking I'm self-centered, and I think, okay, now I know what to do.
If this podcast episode gave you insight so you can understand your children a lot more, would you give us, please, a positive review? Just open the description of this podcast, leave us a positive review. That will help us get to more parents. Remember that it only takes understanding of yourself and of your children to transform your parenting. I'll see you next time. Bye.